They say something offensive and you feel the sting. But instead of addressing it, you laugh nervously and say, "Oh, you're terrible." If you smiled or even made a joke, you already passed it. You just showed them exactly how easy you are to manage. That smile, it wasn't kindness, it was permission. Test 1. The social lubricant. Someone says something. That creates tension. Maybe it's inappropriate. Maybe it's aggressive. Maybe it's just wrong. You feel the discomfort immediately. Your body tenses. Your mind registers the violation. But instead of letting that tension exist, you smooth it over. You laugh. You make a joke. You change the subject. You do anything to make the awkwardness disappear. You think you're being polite. But all they see is your compliance. You're not overthinking this. What you're noticing is something you're not allowed to react to. That moment when you feel that social friction and immediately work to eliminate it, that's you showing them you prioritize their comfort over your own boundaries. That you'll sacrifice your authentic reaction to keep things pleasant. What they just learned is that you can be managed through social pressure and you made it easy. Watch how this works. With a smile, you just taught them that inappropriate behavior gets rewarded with your attention and energy. You were being tested, and you failed by trying to pass. Test 2. The interruption gap. You're speaking. Mid-sentence, they cut you off. Not accidentally, deliberately. They start talking like you weren't even there. You stop. You shrink back. You wait for them to finish. Maybe you laugh nervously. Maybe you just disappear from the conversation entirely. That moment where you stop mid-sentence, that's not politeness. That's you showing them how much of yourself you're willing to disappear. They're watching your reaction. Do you finish your thought? Do you reclaim your space? Or do you just vanish? You vanished. You showed them your voice doesn't matter. When challenged, you showed them you'll give up your space the moment they take it. You think this is about them? It's not. It's about what you just revealed. About yourself. You were predictable. You chose peace over presence. They recognized something in you. Here's the pattern. You start to share something important. They interrupt with their own story. You stop talking and listen politely. You never return to your original point. You just taught them. Your thoughts can be erased with their voice. You felt it happening. That frustration when your words got cut off. That disappointment when the conversation moved away from you. You noticed. You just didn't act on what you noticed. This is where most people think it stops. It doesn't. Test 3. The Space Invader. They move too close. Not accidentally, deliberately. They invade your physical space or dominate your social space. They take up more room than they should. You feel it immediately. That slight discomfort, that heavy air, that sense that something's wrong. But instead of holding your ground, you adjust, you step back, you make yourself smaller, you accommodate their expansion, you shrink, so they don't have to. You found. They're not testing your physical boundaries. They're testing your willingness to defend any boundary at all. When you moved first, you showed them you'll rearrange yourself around their presence. You thought you were avoiding conflict. They learned you can be displaced through pressure. You were being tested. This happens everywhere. They lean in too close when talking. They spread their belongings into your space. They speak louder than necessary. And you accommodate it every single time. If you realized you've passed even one of these, you're already in the selection phase. And what happens next is where most people lose control completely. Test 4. The fake vulnerability. They share something personal, something emotional, something that seems intimate and real. They watch your reaction carefully. You respond with empathy. You match their vulnerability. You share something personal back. You invest emotionally in their story. You thought you were connecting. Instead, they were mapping you. You were giving them answers to questions they never had to ask. That emotional investment you just made, that's data. They now know exactly which emotional buttons to push. They know what makes you care. They know what makes you override your judgment. You've already passed more of these than you think. You don't notice control while you're cooperating. You notice it the moment you stop. Your empathy became a weapon they could use against you. Your kindness became a lever they could pull. You weren't overthinking. When you felt something was off, you were right. Here's how it works. They tell you about their difficult childhood, their recent breakup, their work struggles. You feel for them. You open up about your own experiences. You create a bond. But notice what happened. They shared calculated information designed to trigger your compassion. You shared genuine information that revealed your vulnerabilities. The exchange wasn't equal, it was extraction. Test 5. The final compliance. They make a small request, something that crosses a boundary but seems reasonable, something you could say no to, but probably won't. Can you cover this for me? Can you keep this between us? Can you do me this one favor? You say yes automatically. You don't even pause to consider it. You just comply. This is where most people realize too late. They weren't helping. They were being measured. That automatic yes, that's the final confirmation. You didn't decide. You reacted. You've shown them you'll comply with requests that violate your boundaries. You've shown them you won't even think about it first. They now know exactly how to handle you. Small requests that gradually escalate. Emotional pressure when you hesitate. Social smoothing when you resist. You felt it, but ignored it. Every single time. The request feels small, but it's not about the favor. It's about your response pattern. Do you pause and consider? Do you check your boundaries? Or do you just say yes, because saying no feels uncomfortable? You said yes. You showed them you'll prioritize their needs over your own comfort. You showed them you can be moved through simple requests. Passing the test is automatic. Failing it has to be intentional. Here's how to fail these tests on purpose. When someone creates social tension, let it exist. Don't smooth it over. Don't laugh it off. Don't make it comfortable for them. Pause instead of smoothing tension. Let them sit in the discomfort they created. When someone interrupts you, finish your sentence. Don't stop. Don't shrink. Don't disappear. Finish your sentence after interruption. Your voice matters more than their impatience. When someone makes a request that crosses your boundaries, say no once, without explaining. Don't justify. Don't apologize. Don't negotiate. Just no. These aren't rude behaviors. They're boundary maintenance. They're self-respect in action. Most people never learn how to fail these on purpose. That's what actually makes them stop. When you stop being predictable, you stop being useful. When you stop being useful, you stop being a target. The goal isn't to become difficult, it's to become unpredictable. When they can't map your responses, they can't control your reactions. You didn't get tricked. You showed them exactly how to handle you. What you do next time decides whether they stay or move on to someone easier.